Okay, so first we will go with the file handling concept. Okay, so now you can see here what is the file handling. You can see this particular definition. File handling is the integral part of the program, okay, which is having some particular ready-made functionalities, which is used to create the file, which is used to open the file, close the file, and we can perform the different types of operations, such as a, if I wanted to read the file, if I wanted to add some particular data into that file, if already file is available and I wanted to add, appending nothing but adding the data into the existing file. So for these particular purposes, what we do, we use the file handling concept here. Okay. Now, so whenever I'm working with the particular file here, so this particular file, okay, are doing the different type of operations. What are the different operations are there? Okay, operations here, creating a empty file. Okay, one more type of operations, creating a file with the data. Next thing, creating, okay, or else you can say reading a file data. Okay, adding the data to the existing file, which is also called append. Okay, and next, renaming the file. Next, remove the file. Okay, so these are the different operations are there. So whenever I'm doing this type of operations, so here these are the called mode of the files, what we call mode of the file. Okay, so here I need to mention some particular command whenever I'm mentioning some particular modes here. Okay, example purpose, in that particular, okay, there is some built-in functions are available to perform the actually the work or task or executions related to the file. So first one is the open function. So this function is used to access the file for different operations. Okay, for different operations, or if you can write like this, to perform different type of operations. Okay, or nothing but modes. So simply how we can do this, we can use any particular variable name, syntax. We have to mention the variable name, and after the variable name, here I need to mention open function, and then I need to mention which file you are accessing, and then what are the mode of the file. Mode of the file. Mode of the file means what type of operations you wanted to perform. Okay, and here once you are mentioning this, uh, what are the modes are there? Modes are X mode, W mode, R mode, okay, A mode. These are the modes are there. So X mode means you are creating an empty file. W mode means you are creating a file with the data. R mode means already file is created, I wanted to read the file. Next we have append is there. Append means, okay, already file is available, I wanted to add some more particular data to that particular file. Okay, now if I wanted to rename the file, for that purpose we have a rename function. For removing the file, we have a remove function. Okay, and once the work is completed, we need to close the files. So this function is used to close the file once the required operation are complete. Okay, so when the work is completed, you have to end the file. Okay, now let's do some particular example on that. So here I wanted to create an empty file. So simply what I'll do here, I'm going to create the file. Let's give this name as a my file equals to open function, and here I'm going to mention here file1.txt, and I wanted to create the empty file. So that purpose I'm mentioning the X, and here my work is completed. And if I wanted to print any statement, like if first line is executed and then it will go to the second line. So here I wanted to mention some statement, file1 created successfully. Okay, and then I wanted to close the connection of the file. And once I run this, now you can see here file1 created successfully, we got the message. And if I check it here, you can see here file1.txt is created. Okay, similarly, I wanted to create the file with the data. So how we can do it? Simply I need to mention the file name, my file. You can give any other name also, and then I need to mention the open function. Then I need to mention which file name I wanted to create. So I wanted to give the name as a file2.txt, and here I need to mention write mode, means I wanted to add the data, and then I'm going to mention my file dot write and what data you wanted to add. So let me pass one string value. So here I'm going to write welcome to file number 2. Okay, and then I wanted to print one message, like if the file is created, I wanted to pass this message. So here I'm going to write file2 created successfully. Okay, and now here I need to mention my file dot close. And once I run this, you can see here we get the message file2 created successfully. And now you can see here it is loading. Now you can see file2.txt is displaying here. Similarly, okay, I can add this particular data from any particular variable also. Example purpose, here I'm going to write my data equals to something, and here I'm going to create one variables with some data, like something welcome to Python programming. Okay, this data I wanted to pass. So how can I able to pass the data? Let me create one more particular variable, something my file equals to open, and here I wanted to give the file name. What is my file name? I wanted to give the file name as a file3.txt. I wanted to write the file. Okay, and then what data I wanted to write. For that purpose, I need to use the write function. Okay, so write function is used to write the data, and here I'm going to mention here what data you wanted to write. So here I don't want to write the string value, I wanted to pass the variable. So here I'm going to mention the my data. Okay, and once I mention this particular my data, and then I'm going to print the same particular message if the file is created. Let me copy and paste it here. Okay, and here I wanted to mention file3 created successfully. And next, what I wanted to do, I wanted to close the file. So here I'm going to mention my file dot close here. And once I run this, now you can see here file3 is going to be created. It is, I think, still loading. Now you can see here file3.txt is created. Now whatever the files I have created, I wanted to check this file is created or not, this data is stored or not. So for that purpose, I'm going to use the read function. So read function is used to read the data. So here I'm going to mention one more same thing, my file equals to, let's use this particular command. Okay, let me copy the entire code, and then I'm going to edit this particular code. So which file I wanted to, for example, I wanted to first check file number 2.txt, and here I need to change the mode as a R because I wanted to read the file. And here I need to use the print function, and then I need to mention my file dot read. Okay, and once I run this, now you can see here file1 created successfully. And now what I wanted to do, I wanted to first check file number 2.txt, and here I need to change the mode as a R because I wanted to read the file. And here I need to use the print function, and then I need to mention my file read function. Okay, using this particular function I can able to read the data. And now you can see here, welcome to file2 is printing here. Okay, similarly if I wanted to check the file3, if I mention here file3, you can see here welcome to Python programming is printing here. Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to add some more data inside of any particular file. Okay, let's take a file number 3. Already one line is created here. I wanted to add some more particular data into the file number 3. So here I'm going to write the same thing. So here I need to change a. If I mention w, what will happen? It will overwrite the file. Okay, for example, let's take w, and here I'm going to use the write function. Okay, my file dot write, and you can see there is a spelling mistake is there in two. So here I'm going to copy this particular data, same thing, and here I'm going to mention, okay, welcome to file 2. Okay, and here I'm going to add, for understanding purpose, let's add some more data. Okay, and now once I done this, now if I run the same thing, my file 2, and here you can see here it is going to overwrite the data if I use the w method. Okay, so now what I need to do, I need to use the which particular mode, I need to use the a mode. A mode is used to append the data. Okay, so I wanted to append the data, and here what I wanted to add, let's take a multi-line string. Okay, uh, multi-line string. Okay, and here I'll target this file number 3, and here I'm going to mention some particular point, welcome to programming. What is the point? Welcome to Python programming language. Python is a beginner, okay, beginner friendly programming language. Okay, and here I'm trying the syntax of the programming language of the Python programming is very easy. Okay, now let me run this particular file. Okay, write function, a function. Okay, perfect. Let me run this, and now I wanted to check whether this particular data is added or not. So let me just run this particular section, file3.txt r mode read the file. And if I mention this, now you can see here uh, all the particular files are printing perfectly. Okay, if I wanted to check it here, and you can see file.p here. Now you can see the same particular content is added. If I make some changes here also, okay, if I make the changes here, and same thing you can see here, if I rerun the file once again, okay, if I rerun the file, now you can see same changes here. You can see if I am doing any changes in the coding part, same it is going to be reflected in the file. If I'm doing some particular changes, again I'm accessing the file, same changes are going to be reflected. Is it clear, guys? Any doubt, any questions? Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to rename the file, or else I wanted to remove the file. So what I need to do here, so simply I need to use the one more particular library that is called import OS library. Okay, what is the purpose of this particular library? If I just type here, what is the import OS library in Python? So now you can see here, this particular library is using the your particular operating system, means your particular files here, physical files. If I wanted to check your files and folders, and then if I wanted to access those particular locations, if I wanted to uh, access the file, access the folder, renaming the file, delete the file, for those type of particular operations, I'll go with this particular library. Now you can see here, same thing you can see here, usable for the local paths, nothing but the files and folder. And you can see, you can, if you wanted to import and use the individual modules, if you wanted to manipulate a path, that is always one of the different formats. Okay, and this is the official website is there of this particular library, that is the OS library. And you can see there are different types of ready-made functionalities are available related to this particular. Okay, so is file, you can see here this is file function is used to check whether that particular file is available or not, whether the folder is available or not. Okay, like this there are different particular functionalities are there which is used to check, okay, all these particular things. Okay, now let's import this. Okay, we have already imported. Let me just copy paste this definition. Okay. Now here, what I wanted to do, I wanted to check, okay, whether this particular things are working or not. So here I'm going to use one print function, and here I wanted to check whether the file is available or not. Okay, we can use the if else conditions also. For example, or else let's write something as a true and false type of things. If I use this particular file, and here if I check here os dot is file. Okay, and then if I run this, okay, os has no attribute is file. What is the function name? Os dot path. Okay, so here I need to mention os dot path dot is file. Okay, and now you can see here it is saying true here. I can check with any particular condition also. For example, you can write any condition, something like something file name. Okay, and uh, and then you can just write here input function, and here I'm going to write enter the file name you want to check, like this file is existing or not. And here I'm going to write the condition if this os dot file. Okay, here I'm going to write the condition, this particular file name. So file name will be this file name. Okay, so if it is there, then I wanted to write yes, file is yes file font. Okay, and if it is not available, I can pass one message, this file not found. Okay, now once I run this, now you can see here if I write file4.txt, so now this file not found it is saying. If I write file1.txt, so now you can see yes file found. Okay, so there is a different list of directory also there, I think. uh, Directory. Okay, directory functions or something, I think list of directory, not sure, list of directory function. Okay, so now you can see there is a one more function called list of directory. So this particular function is going to display the entire files which is available inside of the folder. For example, if I mention here os dot list of directories, and now you can see here these are the files are saved inside of my specific folder, like I'm in which particular folder. In this particular folder, these are the files are available here. Okay, so now similarly what I wanted to do, actually I wanted to rename the file, and I wanted to delete the file. Okay, so that particular operations I wanted to perform. So here I'm going to write os, let's do some particular operation. I wanted to change this particular file1.txt as a f1.txt. So simply I'm going to mention os dot rename. What is the old file name? Old file name is file1.txt. And what is the new file name I want to perform? That is the f1.txt. And once I run this, if I go back to my folder, it is going to be changed. Still loading. Okay, now you can see it is changed to the f1.txt. Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to remove this particular file here. So how we can remove this? So simply I can mention here remove function, and which file I wanted to remove? I wanted to remove the f1.txt. And now you can see if I go back, this file is going to be deleted. Now you can see here that is deleted here. Okay, let's do some particular basic task related to this particular file handling concept, and remaining I'll give you as a assignment. Okay, let's do this particular task. Let me copy this. Okay, so this is the question is, okay, what you have to do, you have to create one particular file. In this particular file you wanted to check how many there will be number of lines will be there, and in that particular file how many of lines are not starting with the T, that you have to do. So let's do this particular task. So in this particular task, what are the things I need to do, what are the steps I need to follow to perform this particular task? So simply what I need to do, I need to there will be one file will be there. Okay, so I need to create the file, I need to access the file, and then I need to access the data of the file. Okay, and then I need to run a loop to iterate the lines, and then I need to write some condition. I need to write some conditions to check, okay, how many lines are not starting with T. So these are the things I need to perform. So already some files are created. Now you can see in the file number 3 multiple lines are written. If I go back to these files, now you can see here multiple lines are written in the file number 3. Okay, and now you can see here there are 2 lines are not starting with the capital T. So let's do the same thing here. So here I'm going to write this particular code. So here I'm going to take one variable my file equals to which file I wanted to access. So here I wanted to use the open function, and I wanted to access that particular file. So here I'm going to mention file3.txt, and then I need to mention like I wanted to read the file, and then I need to mention something like my data, and here I'm going to mention a read function. So my file dot read function, and then I need to iterate this particular loop for I in my data, and then I wanted to check how it is iterating. Okay, and now once I run this, you can see here it is iterating as a character by character. So I don't wanted to use this particular character by character, I wanted to use as a lines. So for that purpose there is a one more function is called read lines, and if I run this, now you can see here it is actually printing line by line here. Okay, and now if I wanted to check individual index values also, now you can see here if I mention here 0, so now you can see here properly we are getting the first particular index of the each and every particular line, nothing but the first character of the each and every line. These things we have already used in the last classes. Okay, and now what I wanted to do, I wanted to write some particular condition here. So let me copy this, and here I wanted to write the condition. What would be my condition? So, and if I wanted to check how many lines are there, so for that purpose I'm taking count equals to 0, and simply I'm writing here if this particular T is there. Okay, this T, okay, is not, okay, if this T is not in the this particular 0 index sequence, then I wanted to increase the count. Okay, and then what I need to do, I need to add one particular results, and simply I wanted to write the result total lines are total lines which are not starting from tr is count. Okay, and now once I run this, now you can see here total lines which are not starting from tr, that is 2. So this is the way how you're going to perform this particular task. Let's do one more particular task here. Okay, so let me copy this. Okay, and here what you need to do here in this particular task, you have to write a program which is counting the total number of the words in a text file. So how many words are there, you have to count this. Okay, so let's write the same thing. Okay, here I'm going to copy the previous thing, and for words, okay, total words, I'm going to use the same count here, and here I'm going to use the read function. And then what I need to do, I need to run one particular loop only. Okay, so here uh, there is a one split function will be there. So here I'm going to use the my words, and here I'm going to use the my data dot split function. So this is going to use to convert the words here actually. And then what I need to do, okay, if you wanted to check like before this, if you wanted to check, you can check it what type of data it is storing as a my data. So then you can convert the string into the words, because we have already ready-made functions are there. And once I run this, now you can see it is string data, so you can easily convert this as a words here. So now, okay, is not required. So here I'm going to write my words, and total is, as of now, total is not required, my words. And in the my words, what I wanted to do, I wanted to convert this my data dot split function, and then we have a length function. Okay, so here I'm going to create total equals to length of the my words, and here I can print the total. So total words are going to print here in this particular way. Okay, or else what you can do, you can run a loop also. Instead of that, you can run a loop. How you can run the loop here, you can take like for I in my words, and here you can take some variable as a count. Here I'm taking count equals to 0, and you can write count plus equals to 1, and simply you can print the count. And you have to close the function. So I'm forgetting the using the close function. So whenever your work is completed, you have to use the close function. Now you can see here, if I use the ready-made function or loop function, we are getting this particular 2020. Okay, so this is the way like how you're going to perform these particular tasks. Is it clear, guys? Any doubt, any questions? Now try to do these particular tasks also. Now you can see there is a question like write a function in Python to read a line from the text file any.txt, and your function should find and display the occurrence of the word the. Means in your particular file the is repeating how many times. Similarly, next question is you have to check how many words are there which is less than 4 particular characters. Next, you have to find how many words are there, these are ending with the e. And next question, how many characters are there in your particular file. Okay, so try to complete this particular task. If you're getting any doubt or questions, you can just let me know. So any doubt, any questions, guys? Clear all?
Sir.
So that's it for today. In the next class, we're going to understand some more examples related to the Python programming.